Regular viewers of this channel might have already recognized how Levi Markwardt has influenced my training. I was fortunate enough to have another sit down with the man himself. If you want to watch the full conversation, check the link in the description. This excerpt that I'm showing you right now will help you create powerful kettlebell workouts that will help you build crazy amounts of muscle. I love Levi's approach. I'm using this more and more in my own schedule and my own training, and I'm seeing major results. And if you're over 40 and you want to become strong, fit, and lean without going to the gym twice as fast, then download my free ebook in the first link in the description. Do you have some other routines that, probably include double bells, but that are not strictly tied to time and that have maybe a little bit of a different protocol? Or do you say, no, listen, this is actually my bulk of the work is always that EMOM with 90 seconds. This is what I mostly do. And then maybe I switch up the exercises, the load, maybe the reps and stuff. So that's something that you can elaborate on a little bit.
No, there's other things that I do. There are definite times where I don't time. Like I said, most everything I do is timed simply because that's just how it works with my schedule and as a business owner and things like that. I do have, again, most of my stuff is two bell, or what I really enjoy is two bell. And I had kind of threw in there that, no, I still do single bell workouts. Absolutely. I think I said on the first podcast, every time I'm in the middle of a two bell workout, I'm like, man, I wish I was using a single bell. And every time I'm in the middle of a single bell workout, I'm like, geez, I really wish I had two bells right now. So there's benefits to both, and you should absolutely, but again, it comes down to loading, it comes down to paces and all that kind of stuff that we've been talking about. But no, I do have one where I will combine, I will superset upper body and lower body. So for an example, I might do clean and press, whether it's a strict press or a seesaw press, but I'll re-clean every time. And then I'll go right into rack lunges, and then I'll recover. And then what I'll do is the next phase would be, I'll do clean squats, and then I'll go right into renegade rows. And then the clean and press and the rack lunges are going to be limited on my the load will be determined on my weakest movement. So for me, that's going to be the rack lunges. So I can't, I won't press any more than I can lunge. That's how I choose the load for that. Cause I don't, so once I do, so for example, I might do, and I like the ascending and descending ladder format. So for example, like if I did 5 clean and press, then I would do 2 lunges per leg. And then the next time I go through it might be 4 clean and press, then 3 lunges a leg. And then it would be 3 clean and press, and then 4 lunges a leg, or however I want to.
Are you alternating with the lunge, or are you going one leg only?
I alternate. Yep.
Alternate.
So it'd be lunges per leg. But yeah, so I'm descending. It's the same load. I'm descending my clean and press reps and ascending my lunge reps. And then that would be how so if I did 3 rounds of that, each time is varied. And so it would be the same format with the clean squats, but I might use different loads. So I might clean squat, 36, for example, and then row 44s, for example. But it would be the same rep scheme. So if I might do 5 clean squats, and then it would be 2 rows in arm, and then it would be 4 clean squats and 3 rows in arm.
Are you doing the push-up as well, or just the rows?
I generally just do rows.
Yeah.
I do. My push-ups come from my burpees. I do so many burpees. That's when I do my push-ups. But not that there's anything wrong with adding a push-up.
Yeah. But I generally do the renegade rows. I favor doing the rows only without the push-up, because the push-up, I'm focusing the push-up on a different exercise where I really want to focus on chest and upper body or anterior stuff, right? It's just all about the pulling. And one thing that I also found is with the renegade, I actually love just pulling one side and then staying with that one side, right? This is also something that I don't always alternate, just staying with one side only. So that's like a superset move where you say, all right, I have, you use same weights, I like the loading. So you're saying, all right, the rack lunge, I know I cannot rack lunge double 44s, which I can clean and press. But I can rack lunge double 32s or whatever number that might be. And that's the number, or that's the weight that you then use for the clean and press. Right. And then you do that ladder system type of training. Yeah.
Right. And so that would also be like why I don't do a ballistic. So it's not a clean and jerk or clean and push press. It's a clean and strict press or a seesaw press, because the load has to be light enough for my lunges. And so I'll get more out of I know
All right.
I said earlier that I don't strict press because I don't enjoy it, but that would be the one of the few times where I will strict press because my load is limited based on a weaker movement elsewhere.
And you confirm, and you're confirming one thing that Sean Mosen shared with me in the early days of my podcast. And Sean Mosen, for those who don't know, is the godfather of kettlebells in Canada. Was one of the first who got started with kettlebells in Canada. Was in the RKC days, an OG coach, so a cool guy. And he said something that makes sense to a trainer. He said, oftentimes I tell the client, listen, you never do A. You never do it. And the client's like, yeah, but what if, no, you never do A. And then I walk over to my next client and I tell him, you do A. And then the other client's like, hey, you told me not to do A. Yeah, but that's a different situation. That's an exception. It's like with the straight press. I don't do it, but here I do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that also people have to wrap their heads around sometimes. Just because we say, or for example, I say, yeah, I don't think the Turkish get up makes a lot of sense. And then somebody sees me do it. They're like, but you said, yeah, but guess what? Sometimes I do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's the superset. I love that. And
Yeah,
so
it's just
you straight press it.
Yeah, it's just an upper body superset with a lower body, and then you recover. And then it's a different lower body with a different upper body, then you recover. And then I will, in between those rounds, I'll do farmer carries. So I've got a lap in my gym. So that's how I split it up is then I'll do like a real heavy farmer carry. And then I will go back. So it would be like I would do the 5 and the 3. And then I would do the 5 and the 3 of the other two superset, and then I would do a lap, and then it would be the 4 and the 4, then the 4 and the 4, then a lap, and then a 3 and the 5 and the 3 and the 5, and then I would do a lap. All right. So that would be one round.
Yeah, That's great. You could also, I mean, that's loading the scheduling could be a little bit different. You can say, you know what, I'm doing the clean and press and the rack lunges with the 5, 2, 4, 3. I do this exercise completely, then I do the carry, and then I go back to the next one. You could also say, I'm completely using one particular exercise, fully do it, right? Yeah. With the ladder system, and you're combining it. You say, yeah, I do it, which I like too. I like to do circuits where I have 2 exercises, then another one to get a little bit of variety. I love that. And then when you do you time it, or is this one of the workouts where you say, hey, I just go according to feel?
So so the first round would be according to feel, but I would time it. I would pay attention. Okay, I needed a minute. I needed a minute break there, and so I took the minute, and so. And then maybe by the end of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I need to take an additional minute between rounds. So now that I know, and I'm taking notes on my whiteboard, okay, I took a minute here, I took 30 seconds here, I took a minute here, and then an additional minute between rounds. So I took 2 minutes. So then I'm going to try to keep that pace every round. So the first round is kind of okay, let's see what I've got today, depending on the load. And then after that, I'll try to mimic that the next 2 rounds. And then I've got my format for the next time I want to do this. And so, here's what I did on day 1, whenever I did it. And so now I'm going to reintroduce this format into my routine. And so here's my format. Here's what I need to try to mimic, and then
see where. I love that. So it's rather like a descriptive timer than a prescriptive timer. It's something that you find out as you rest. You write it down. Okay, it took me a little bit longer to rest to get back at it. But I'm assuming you never go overboard where I rest until I'm fully recuperated. No, you say, hey, right? No, you still go according to feel, where you feel like I'm still challenged. I get that feeling all the time. I'd love to rest longer, but it's time to go, right?
Exactly. Yep. And again, that's come from years and years and years.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, that requires experience, understanding your body, your limitations, your fitness, where you are, your age and everything. Yep. I get that. Well, that's a powerful. And how long does it take for you to complete that workout? And are you completing in a sense of once you have reached the top ladder down? So if you start with 5 and 2, the set is finished when you reached both exercises with the 2 and 5 or whatever type of ladder you came up with.
Yeah. I would have to, just, again, it would depend. If I'm using 28s for my, clean and press and lunges, I don't need as much rest. So I'm working still, but if I'm using 32s, that lunge might eat me up. So I might have to take a little bit more rest. Just kind of depending on, I want to say that almost everything I do is within 25 to 35 minutes. I mean, that's
same
kind
here.
of what my target window is for training. And so that I would assume that without looking at my notes, that's what it's going to take me. I try to plan everything into that window.
Yeah.
So.
And that confirms that you can get so much done in 20, 30 minutes, especially when you're advanced and you know what you do. And that's amazing. Just like you mentioned, that's something that was completely unfathomable back when I was doing the typical bodybuilding stuff, where I was like, I got to spend at least 90 minutes in the gym.
Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. And finally, one thing that I like to ask you, so I often see you like the 64, I think it's a 64, right? You clean it up with one clean with both arms, and then you squat it, right? Rack squat it, which is, I mean, the rack squatting in all by itself is a crazy exercise. And would that classify for a single bell workout? And how does that look like?
Yeah, so I use anywhere, depending if I'm doing lunges with that format, so I go anywhere from 68 to 92 with that. So it just depends on if I'm doing lunges, I won't go heavier than an 80.
You won't go heavier than an 80 kilogram bell.
Right. I'm not gonna try to lunge my 92.
That sounds so funny. It's like, oh, I ain't trying to go above 80. You know how heavy 80 is?
I do.
love that.
I do.
Yeah, of course you do. But man, I love this.
But again, but I'm not doing a lot of reps though either with that.
Yeah.
So like that might be a two-handed clean to one side, and then it's a squat and or a lunge, and then it's a re-clean it to the other side and it's a squat in. So that might be my whole set with that. That might take 20 seconds. So what I like to do is, so like what I did yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I had the 92 out, and I did 4 cleans. So I would clean to one side, clean to the other side, and then I would repeat that. So I did 4 cleans. That was taking me about 15 seconds, between 15 and 20 seconds.
So 4 clean per side, right?
No, 4 total. So 2 per side.
2 per side. All right. So 1, then switching sides, and the total of 4. All right.
4.
Got it?
Yep. So that was taking 15 to 20 seconds, depending on. And then I would wait until 30, and then I was doing. I do 6 renegade rows in 30 seconds, 6 aside, so 12 total in 30 seconds. And then, so that's a minute of work, or a minute, work 20, rest 10, work 30. Then I would rest 30 seconds. So now we're at a minute and a half. And then I did 12 reps of half snatch and long cycle. So I would go half snatch, long cycle, half snatch, long cycle, half snatch. Half snatch, long cycle, half snatch.
That combo, right?
That combo. So I end up doing 8 half snatch and 4 long cycle in a minute. So 12 reps, and do that each arm. So now I'm at 3:30, and then I take a minute and a half rest. So that's a 5-minute round, and I went through that 5-minute round 6 times. So just under 30 minutes.
Wow. So let me just try to recapture this. So you have a heavy kettlebell. 4 cleans total with that, and which I like that. I got to get into this too. I saw this often. I see, especially you mentioned Rhino Strength. Yeah, what he does with, that's crazy. So you use 1 bell with 2 hands.
Yep.
Right, and you 4 reps. You drop the bell. You rest, and then when the timer hits 30 seconds. Yep. You then go into renegades and doubles. Then.
I alternate, and so
you alternate with doubles, right? And then it's how many reps with the renegades? It's
6 an arm, 12 total.
Okay, 6 per side, and then you go into 1 bell again, where you have.
I rest 30 seconds.
So you rest after the renegades.
Yep.
Rest, and then you jump into the 1 arm again, where it's the long cycle and the half snatch combined.
Yep.
And you do 6 reps per side, which equals 12 total.
No, 12 total per side.
12, so 24 in total, huh?
Yep. 12 in a minute, and then switch sides, 12 in a minute.
And that equals about 5 minutes approximately.
Well, that'll be 3.5 minutes, and then I take a minute and a half break.
And then with the rest, of course, which
then it's
great.
5 minutes.
And this is the 4 clean, the 6 renegades per side, which is 12 total, and the 24 long cycle half snatch per side, it's 12, equals 3.5 minutes of work. Then you add rest, that's 5 minutes, and you do a couple of rounds.
I did 6 rounds.
6 rounds, all right.
So my half hour window there.
I love that. I love the burpee. Where do you find time and how do you place the burpee in your workouts?
Great question, because I have an infatuation with the burpee as well, as a lot of people know that follow me. I do them either as a standalone workout session with if you know, I had that surgery on my arm a year ago, and sometimes I just can't rack a bell. I just need a break.
Interesting. Oh.
So that's a time where I will do burpees, and either burpees by themselves, or I'll combine burpees with rowing or skiing. The other time I do burpees is when I do single bell stuff. And so, because 2 bells is too taxing for me to throw in burpees as well, but single bell, because I can switch arms, or I can manipulate the load a little bit easier, the pace a little bit easier. I'll do, and now I'll do my burpees with snatches, half snatch, and long cycle, 1-arm long cycle. I have different paces and different formats that I do. But a lot of times, if I'm going to do burpees in a workout, it's because, other than absolutely loving them and believing in them 100%, it's because my arm needs a break, or I'm going to combine them with a single bell set. So I would choose a single bell movement. So what, snatch, half snatch, long cycle. I wouldn't do just jerk, because the amount of pressing I'm getting with the burpees.
Yeah,
well.
Makes sense.
So, and again, not that you couldn't, but I mean, that's why I wouldn't do just jerk. So I like to break it. I do this ladder format, where I'll do everything. My goal is one switch. Whatever movement I'm doing is going to be one switch. So I will do, if I'm doing a regular snatch, just your classic snatch, I try to keep a 20 per minute pace. If I'm doing doing half snatch, I will try to keep an 18 per minute pace. And then if I'm doing long cycle, I will try to keep a 12 per minute pace. So fast paces for me for those movements. Now, the individual, depending on their experience, could absolutely slow those paces down. Maybe it's 8 long cycle a minute, or 10 long cycle a minute, or it's 16 half snatch, or it's 18 regular snatch. But that's where I'm coming from. So that is how I'm going to determine what kind of loading I use. And my goal is going to be to go up at least 2 kg every set. So my first set is going to be a 5-minute. Let's just pick snatch, just to pick an exercise. So I'm going to consider the amount of volume that I'm going to do over the course of this workout. It's going to take me 30 minutes. Okay.
30-minute workout.
30-minute workout. I'm going to go at a 20 per minute pace with snatch. I'm going to do 100 reps for 5 minutes. Right. Okay. Now, if I go at a 22 per minute pace, I'm going to get done a little bit quicker, which is what I want, because I want a little bit of a break. So what I will do is I will take a 26, and I will do 50 on my left, right into 50 on my right. That'll take me about 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
So 50 snatch per side.
Yep.
With a in your case it's a 26, but of course it's relative, but it's
relative.
It's from the amount of work that you do with doubles, it's rather considered a lighter bell, because you want to hit that pace, right?
Yes, I want to keep that pace. So I'm going to go 50 each arm.
Yeah.
Which in theory would take me 5 minutes, but because I'm going a little bit faster, I get a little bit of a break.
Yes.
So I do my 100 reps, takes me 440, and then I get a 20-second break, and then I do a set of burpees. And now I'm going to do as many burpees as I can in 30 seconds. For me, that's about 12. So I'll hit my 12 burpees in 30 seconds. I take a 30-second break. So that's 6 minutes total. I did a 5-minute snatch set. I did a 1-minute burpee set, but it was work 30, rest 30. Okay.
So the 12 burpees is approximately 30 seconds. And then, so just to reiterate from the burpee stuff, you do the 50 snatch per side with a 26 in your case, maybe 440. And then you have 20 seconds of rest until the 5-minute hits. It makes beep, beep, beep. All right. 12 burpees, or, burpees in 30 seconds. The timer hits again. And then you rest 30 seconds again, which equals that that's 6-minute work, right?
6-minute round. Yep.
Yeah. 6-minute round.
So the next round is going to be the same thing, but I'm going to do 40 and 40 with my snatch. So 4 minutes, but I'm doing I'm using a 28 now.
You're upgrading. All right.
Yep.
All right.
And then after my 40 and 40, or my 80 total snatch, that might have taken me 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So I get a 10-second break, and I go into 30 seconds of burpees, 30 seconds rest, 30 seconds of burpees, 30 seconds rest. So now we're at 6 minutes for that round, so 12 minutes total.
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
And then the same thing is going to be, I'm going to grab a 30 or a 32 now, depending on how well the other sets went. And then I'm going to do 60 and 60.
Still snatch, right?
Or not 60, 30 and 30, 60 total.
30 and 30.
Sorry.
Yep. So still, still snatch. Got
3
it.
minutes of snatching. And then again, that might take me 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So I get a 10-second breather. And I go into 3 rounds of burpees. Work 30, rest 30 for 3 rounds. And then I go up again.
I love this. Yeah. And then go again.
Yep. I go up again to a 32 or a 34. And I do 20 an arm. And then I do 4 rounds of burpees.
Wow. That's powerful.
And then I go up again and I do 10 because I'm switching at 30 seconds now. So I do 10 an arm. And then I do 5 rounds of burpees. So it's five total sets. It's 5 total sets. Each set is 6 minutes, 30 minutes.
Here's the next thing that you have to do. Clean and press that like and subscribe button. Share with a friend who's also interested in kettlebells. And if you made it this far, download my free ebook in the first link in the description called The Kettlebell Code. If you're over 40, 50, or 60, you don't have a lot of time, but you still want to take care of your fitness, this is where the kettlebell comes in. And I'm going to show you how to get started. Injury-free, you get a shortcut to success. I'm going to show you how in my free ebook. So download it right now in the first link in the description. 100%